Welcome back. With the college basketball season now in full swing, one team is in the midst of a season unlike any other. For St. Francis, this will be the last season in Division I, the school making the difficult decision to drop down to Division III, in part because of the rise of the so-called name, image, and likeness, or NIL, for college players. It's a complex issue that has ripple effects throughout the NCAA. Our Ike Ejiochi has tonight's prime focus.
Good. It should be like 7 seconds.
With the college basketball season underway, one of last year's unlikeliest successes is in the middle of its own last dance.
One more, last one. Get it, stop, Red!
This is the St. Francis Red Flash men's basketball team. And last year, they were a tournament team. This year, they look a little different.
We've got to go high side, and there's got to be a level of physicality.
With the first-time head coach and quite a few new faces embarking on a season unlike any they've ever experienced.
We've taken this day by day. Every practice is our Super Bowl.
The Catholic Franciscan University of just under 2,000 students, located in the tiny western Pennsylvania town of Loretto, has embraced its underdog status.
We're in a rural location, about an hour and a half east of Pittsburgh. We're the smallest Division I school in the NCAA.
But that hasn't stopped the Red Flash, which has 69 Northeast Conference titles across its 22 athletic programs.
St. Francis is heading back to the big dance.
Women's basketball is responsible for 12 of them, and softball won its 7th this past spring.
St. Francis are back on top.
And last March, the men's basketball team went on the ultimate Cinderella run. Despite finding themselves at 10-17, they went on a 6-game winning streak, culminating in a surprise Northeast Conference tournament title.
And the St. Francis Red Flash are dancing in 2025.
The win automatically vaulting them into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1991 and grabbing national attention.
We kind of coined this term. One of the guys said, hey, the school from the middle of Nowheresville, PA did it. Like, what an unbelievable thing. We really grasped onto that.
The first 4 off and running here in Dayton, Ohio.
The Red Flash faced Alabama State in the first 4, a dramatic game that came down to the wire.
Here, Moncrief at the horn, and it is over in Dayton.
We were picked last that year. So for those guys to persevere, we had a lot of early failures, early losses that we were able to learn from. And as a coach, that's one of the most gratifying things in the world.
Dayton in the first 4 was incredible. The experience I'll never forget. But the back of my mind, knowing what was to come in a few weeks, made it also one of the worst times.
Just a week after that tournament high, a shocking announcement.
Our Board of Trustees has directed St. Francis University to begin pursuing the reclassification process to move from becoming a Division I institution to a Division III institution.
The university saying that new developments in college athletics were impacting the student-athlete experience and made staying in Division I unsustainable. But for the university's president, Father Malachi Van Tassel, that didn't make the board's decision any easier.
We've always made Division I athletics work for us, and in fact, for a period of time, we used it as an enrollment driver. But then when you weigh it in terms of finances, the challenges of being a small, private Franciscan Catholic school, when you weigh it against the fact that it's not going to get any less expensive on a practical level to remain Division I, we felt for the good of the institution to be on a sustainable path, the Division III path would be the one to take.
Division I, you're going to offer scholarships to a lot of, if not all of the athletes on your roster. Division III, there are no scholarships. So the type of player that you're recruiting is drastically different. And the amount of money that you're spending is nowhere near the same.
Well, there were those who said, I came to your school because it's Division I, and now you're changing that. How dare you do that? Which we certainly empathized with. We certainly wanted people to stay. But at the same time, for those who wanted to transfer, we certainly helped to facilitate that process for them.
That boy a dog, man!
For the men's basketball coaches and players, just a week removed from its incredible run, the news was a shock.
We got an email sent to us, and that's how I found out. But, it was pretty devastating. It was just shock. I think I was just more shocked than anything, because I haven't previously heard about it. So coming from that, March Madness to that was just a little bit of a shock.
That's not good enough, Gray, right there.
As a coach, you just want to do what's best for your guys. And with the changing situation, that's what we did. And we have a good group of returners, but some guys did move on.
The move to Division III will mark a new chapter for the program, which has produced former NBA stars like Norm Van Leer and Kevin Porter, and Hall of Famer Maurice Stokes. The decision highlighting the challenges that smaller schools face with recent changes in college athletics, including the 2021 Supreme Court decision allowing athletes to start profiting off their name, image, and likeness.
Among the things that have changed positively is that athletes are finally making some of the money that they helped to generate. For the last 20 or 25 years, that creates new opportunities both for them financially and for them to seek out the right school or to find better opportunities to play than they've ever had before. There are still plenty of parts of this system that are chaotic and unsettled.
For some higher profile athletes like college basketball stars Cooper Flagg, Juju Watkins, and Paige Beckers last year, that could mean Gatorade commercials.
And now when I'm out there, all I hear is ball.
But for many athletes like those at St. Francis, it's often on a smaller scale.
Be tough, be too tough.
We encourage our student athletes to pursue them, but the reality of being a very small Division I school in rural Western Pennsylvania, there aren't many sponsors knocking on our door for NIL deals. We do have about 15 or 20 students who are currently on deals, but most of those are for product such as hoodies.
Another factor was the ability to enter the transfer portal, making it easier for student athletes to move between schools.
We now recruit student athletes, and oftentimes they become they're at St. Francis for 1 year or 2 years. We get them bigger, stronger, faster, and then they move on.
I think you'll see schools that are smaller and have lesser budgets looking around and wondering, do we really belong in this, what is now a multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry, and trying to compete against some of those schools.
And St. Francis.
With the tournament run and announcement in the rear view, student athletes had to plan their next steps.
I remember talking to Coach Luke and Coach Sweet about that they really wanted me to come back and really thought it was the best opportunity for myself, and just thinking about how I had one more year eligibility and everything, so I just talked to my family and God and myself, and just felt like the best opportunity. The best thing for me was to stay for this last year.
When I first came here, I told the coaching staff that I'm a 2 feet in guy. They believed in me and I believed in them, regardless of the changes we made, and I think that I wanted to stick by that.
Let's go. One more time through. Rondo, read it.
For the men's basketball team, that means aiming for a repeat of last year's success and properly honoring the tradition as they end their time in Division I.
We got to have the resiliency to go that next play.
It's the end of a chapter in St. Francis basketball history, St. Francis athletics history. We want to go out with this chapter honoring those guys that have helped this program get to high levels.
Family on 3, 1, 2, 3. Family.